Question here.
Sure, thanks a lot. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks, I really appreciate you putting yourself forward. So one question sort of just on reform. In reading through the indictment, a lot of it seems to have to do with like travel. For example, the PGA these Chinese business people paid for him to travel to Macau to look at this prospective site, and there didn't seem to be a lot of transparency. So I guess just as a sort of forward-looking question, outside of your own salary, maybe you can think, would you be willing to think of some way to make disclosure on who's paying, which salary line pays for which staff member, who pays for your if you go around the world, who pays for the travel, just to disclose it. And the second question I wanted to ask, and I'm sorry but it seems like in the spirit of it, I had heard that in this race for the head of UNHCR, that some people were, and I'm not equating it, I just wanted to ask you in the spirit of transparency, that both UN officials and delegations were summoned or asked to come to meetings in the PGA's office, at which they met Helle Thorning-Schmidt, a candidate for the position. And some found it strange. But I wanted to know, what is the role or the proper use of the office to promote the candidacy of a fellow countryman of yourself? Thanks.
I can say for sure that Helle Thorning-Schmidt has not had any meetings at my office with member states or any officials in my office. I can say for sure that she has not had any meetings with member states in the office compound of the President of the General Assembly. But there was an unoccupied meeting room where she met with some staff from UN organizations in order to be better informed about the work she is trying to be a candidate to. That's what is about it, nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you, sir. A question there.
No, yeah, I think that's okay. We have given access to that room for several delegations during this high-level week because they needed the room to have a meeting. So I mean, I don't see any kind of intrigue or involvement from my side. I even didn't take part in that decision. If you ask me, I didn't know about it. But I am certainly committed not to involve myself in any kind of selection of the next UNHCR. But as you had some other question in the beginning.
Well, it had to do with just kind of a reform proposal, disclosure of travel costs and
but that could very well be. I think all of it has to be decided in a process with the General Assembly how to go on with this. But I can say we have not used any money up till now from the trust fund for the PGA in this presidency. And of course, we have not received any private donor subsidies for traveling.
Yeah, Mr. President.
I have no idea. As I said, I only learned about this whole thing this morning, as all of you did.
Is a question there?
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Abdel Hamid Sayam from the daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi that is based in London. Mr. President, the UN has been a target of criticism and attempts to discredit it throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly there was any Secretary General who has not been subject to some kind of allegations, rumors. You remember the investigation during the former Secretary General Kofi Annan, even the current Secretary General. So this time they're targeting the General Assembly, which represent the world, the Parliament of the world. Don't you think that is some of these campaigns are intentional to discredit the UN and to make, especially after this 70th anniversary celebration and a highly attended session, that the timing is also could be suspicious?
I am in no doubt that there could be people or interests out there that would want to discredit the UN, but I don't see any signs that this should be the case in this specific connection here. That's what I can say. But of course, there are always unfounded allegations against someone somewhere. I mean, we just had the example of Thorning-Schmidt having meetings at my office just a moment ago. But I don't think that's the case here.